AI, capable of creating anything from comedic vehicles to seemingly realistic ones. Could you somehow make these vehicles actually move? While there are numerous services for generating videos based on still images, they can only produce a small number of short clips, and generating content of significant length or volume requires a hefty investment. However, recently an AI called FramePack has appeared and graced us with its presence. While its origin might stir some hesitation, at present, there seems to be no other AI capable of creating somewhat decent videos of several dozen seconds without requiring a donation. So, I decided to give FramePack a try and use it to bring my imaginary vehicles to life. Given the time it takes to generate videos, SD quality seems to be the realistic output. Still, its lightness and ability to operate on computers with modest specifications stand out. If one views it as akin to watching digital videos shot with an old handycam, it can be quite entertaining. On the other hand, it seems difficult for FramePack to reflect the spell throughout an entire video. It fares relatively well when there are repeated similar actions, such as someone dancing in the same spot or when the subject stays within the frame. But when asked to animate something like a train disappearing into the distance, the movement is minimal and only partially applied to the video, showing some notable imperfections. Video generation appears to be in an even earlier stage of development than still image creation. AI, which excels in fabricating and imagining, what will the future bring? I experimented with a variety of still images, primarily comedic vehicles that I had previously created with ImageFX. The first trial is a scene where a train approaches straight or diagonally toward the camera. The still image material is a diesel locomotive with a pantograph, puffing smoke in the snow. The spell used is something basic, like a train approaches us and passes by. However, contrary to expectations of the train racing through the snow while puffing smoke, the locomotive remains stationary. Even though it's stationary, the sight of it scattering snow and spewing smoke is amusing. While the atmosphere is excellent, it's disappointing that the train won't move. I tried altering the spell, but the AI seemed unresponsive. Perhaps the snow-covered tracks and the obscured view of the train behind its front make it difficult for the AI to grasp the sense of direction. Next, I tried a still image of a passenger train being hauled by a new performance electric locomotive imitation from the JNR era, stationed at a platform. This image provides clear depth perception. In this case, it worked properly, and the passenger cars trailing behind also moved without falling apart. However, for a video that's just 12 seconds long, the first 4 seconds have no movement. What, I wonder, was the AI contemplating during that time? Next up is this, a scene that might appear in that famous movie. While there are peculiarities in the direction of movement for cars and trams, the atmosphere feels quite authentic. However, perhaps the AI didn't notice the bow collector, it was left hooked onto the overhead line as it moved away. Next, the Kiha 391-like train. After training the AI about Kiha 391, I created a still image of the 391 imitation. The design resembles one of the unusually structured articulated train sets that were once planned in reality. I cast a spell for the train to move from the left side of the screen to the right, but the AI did not respond. Upon closer inspection, the 391-like train advanced slightly to the right. When I changed the spell to make the train move away into the distance, the AI made it move. From the spell asking the train to move away into the distance, I expected it to move left and disappear into the horizon, but the AI decided otherwise and expressed it accelerating slowly toward the right. There are still many hallucinations, such as mismatches in the movement of the trackbed and background, as well as objects reflected in the water that do not exist in the background. However, the AI handled the overlapping distant mountains in a three-dimensional manner, which is quite impressive. Next is a mysterious locomotive in the snowy landscape, which could be a DD-51 or DD-53, hard to tell. Using a similar spell, it blew smoke, leading me to expect acceleration. Yet, despite the scattering snow, its speed did not increase. Instead, it sometimes reversed direction, as if the AI were still pondering. Lastly, an unusual colored DD51 style locomotive hauling similarly odd-colored 12 series style passenger cars. The train emitted faint smoke not present in the original image, flashed its headlights as if passing, then began moving backward. Just as I thought it was reversing, it started accelerating toward me. The final example has quite a good atmosphere. A similar phenomenon is observed with the diesel train formation. It blows smoke and rapidly starts reversing, then immediately transitions to forward movement, accelerating rapidly. Did the AI imagine a train overshooting its stop and zigzagging back and forth in confusion? The commuter train with Mount Fuji and the coastline in the background. I expected this train to approach smoothly, but partway through, it started moving in reverse. It then continued to retreat into the distance. Since the waves also moved in reverse, synchronized with the train's motion, it seems the AI's timeline is interspersed with hallucinations. The lateral movement of trains seems to be a persistent challenge, but how about this attempt? Though the smoke moves and trails behind the train itself remains stationary. Only at the end of the video does the train finally begin to move forward. Along with this, the amount of smoke increases, perhaps reflecting the transition to full power. However, the lively movement of the smoke tied to the drafts is absent, and the rods remain stationary. It seems this aspect must be resigned to for now. How about a scene with passengers on the platform? At a rural station, passengers prepare to board an arriving train. However, rather than stopping, the train seems to be departing, and the passengers do not approach the train. Still, the atmosphere comes across fairly well. Now, a night scene. Here too, the train departs and accelerates, while the passengers turn their backs to it. How about a scene at a bustling urban station during rush hour, with crowds of passengers swarming the platform? Ascenters are moving, but their movements are gradual, as though they're just starting to walk, rather than giving off the rushed atmosphere. How about a scene where two trains appear to be running in parallel? People walking along the roadside beside the tracks move reasonably well, but the trains mostly blow steam or dust without much movement. A spell was cast with the meaning of a train competition, but one of the trains went in reverse. Success still seems elusive. In this case too, while the smoke rises and the waves move, the trains barely advance. Toward the end of the video, they finally begin to move, and a scene appears where a person is running directly in front of them. Because the previous rush hour spell included people running, the AI incorporated running individuals into the video even though the original still image did not feature them, an impressive feat indeed. Next, let's animate a still image that can truly be called a fantasy world. It depicts a 700 series imitation train running amidst lightning, watched by a sauropod. How will the AI handle this peculiar combination? For good measure, I added a spell asking the dinosaur to dance. This resulted in some intriguing movements. Strangely, the 700 series imitation initially moves in reverse, but later it works smoothly, even kicking up sprays of water. The sauropod moves nicely, though it's disappointing that the lightning remains static. The dinosaur's execution turned out fairly well, so I tried something else. The spell used reeds. A high-speed train passes by in front of them, causing primitive humans and mammoths to run around in surprise. The mammoths did run, but the humans ignored the train and remained seated. As for the train, perhaps influenced by the white smoke at the rear in the original picture, it dramatically vented white smoke like drains or jets from its rear cars. Next is a scene with the 700 series imitation train running while armored samurai watch it. The spell included the idea of the samurai being surprised, but they hardly moved. Could it be because their faces are turned away, making it impossible to express their astonishment? Let's now make the samurai compete with a steam locomotive. The spell was cast as is. While the smoke, drains, and the movements of the samurai and horses were reproduced, the locomotive remained stationary, as though stepping in place. Changing the spell to make the samurai and the train run toward the camera didn't yield results either. It seems the AI prioritizes the information from the still image, making the spell's impact weaker. Perhaps the clear depth information of the still image becomes ambiguous due to the samurai position to the side of the train. Next, a scene with a UFO flying over a steam locomotive haul train. In this case, while there was movement in the smoke, the other elements remained static. Only near the end of the video did the train start moving forward, and the UFO began showing signs of distancing itself. An image depicting a fantastical world, a strange vehicle adorned with lanterns filled with people, progressing through a bamboo forest. The AI surprisingly managed to animate the scenario reasonably well. The lanterns sway, and the people are given a degree of movement. Reflections on still image-based video creation. The quality of videos depends on how well the AI understands the meaning of the still image and to what extent the spell influences it. The AI, having trained in the US and having origins connected to another country, has little cultural connection to Japan. This makes it challenging for the AI to fully grasp the Japanese style, yet it manages to produce somewhat appropriate results when the original image is Japanese-themed. 1 year ago, AI video generation was incapable of producing anything decent. Given this pace of advancement, the future may be simultaneously fearsome and full of great dreams.